Hello my friends, welcome to this video series again. This is the 14th video in this series, so we'll just be wrapping up the 7th test. There are going to be 54 videos, as I keep saying in the introduction. But just in case you are new here, what we are doing is we are going through the Big Book Quant series. Big Book was an old book that was published by GRE somewhere in the 90s. So these are pretty old tests, but the good thing is that this covers a lot of material that is still there on the GRE, and there is varying level of difficulty, various different concepts you will encounter in these tests. So the best way to utilize this video series is to solve along and understand where you are making mistakes in case you are making mistakes. All right, so on that note, let's get started. Okay, so this is test 7, section 4, 30 minutes, 30 questions. Pretty standard. Let's go through the questions on the first page. Question number 1. Maria is 50 inches tall. All right. Her coat weighs 2 pounds. Okay, so some height is given, some weight is given. All right. Is there anything I can do here? I don't know. This is height, this is weight. Let's see what we have to compare. The total number of pounds, so they are asking weight, the total number of pounds that Maria and her coat weigh. Okay, so that's going to be 2 pounds for the coat and then Maria's weight in pounds, which we don't know. All we know is Maria's height. Okay, so don't really have any number for this, so we can't compare it with 100. So this is going to be answer choice D. Relationship cannot be determined. Okay, question 2. X plus 4 is equal to 10, so that means x is equal to 6. Okay, so x minus 2 is going to be 4, x by 2 is going to be 3. Which quantity is bigger? Column A is bigger, so answer choice A. Question 3, x percent of 24 is 12. So whenever there are these percentages, be very careful. Write this down uh, systematically. X percent of 24. So that means x percent, that's how you write x percent. X percent of 24 is 12. Okay. Uh, okay, why I'm asking you to write it systematically is because sometimes it's very intuitive to understand. Sometimes the phrasing might be a little difficult. So always go conceptually. X percent of 24 is 12. Okay, so now I have to find out x. So that means x is going to be 12 into 100 divided by 24. So that is going to be 12 by 24 is half. Half into 100 is 50. So x is 50%. Okay, 50. I mean the value is 50. So x and 50, answer choice C. Let's verify. Let me use a different color. Let's say 50% of 24. What's going to be 50% of 24? That's going to be half of 24. That's going to be 12. 50% of 24 is 12. That is correct. That means our calculation was correct. All right, let's move on. Question 4. All right, so there is some expression that is given. Let's understand the diagram. M and N are opposite angles. Okay, why? Because they are on the same line, right? Just that they are measured from different sides. So M is equal to N. That much I learned. M is equal to N, opposite side. So R and R, they are same. X and X, they are sorry, this is X and Y. All right, this is not R and R, this is R and T. All right, okay, so these are old tests and these are scanned versions, PDF. So sometimes that happens. So this is R and this is T, this is X and this is Y. All right, but I know that again these are also opposite. So R is equal to Y and X is equal to T, right? This is same as this. Okay, now let me get everything into MRX. So this is M minus X minus Y. Okay, okay, so let me get everything in MXY. This is N minus R minus T. If I replace these terms here, so N is M, R is Y, and T is X. So I'm getting the same expression, M minus X minus Y, M minus Y minus X. Basically, X and Y, the order doesn't matter, right? So it's basically the same thing. So answer is going to be answer choice C. Okay. Question number 5, minus 1 raised to 10. So minus 1 raised to anything is going to be 1 or minus 1. If it is an even power, it's going to be 1. If it's odd power, it's going to be minus 1. Okay, so this is even power, 10 is even power, so this is going to be plus 1, right? Okay, and this is minus 1 raised to 11. Again, it's going to be 1 or minus 1. This is odd power, so it's going to be minus 1. Okay, so now which one is bigger? Column A is bigger, so answer choice A. All right, so far so good. Let's look at question 6. Question 6, 7x square is equal to 21. All right, so 7, let me take it on this side, so I get x square is equal to 21 by 7, so that is 3. X square is 3, so x is equal to root 3, which comes out to be 1.7 something. Okay, so this is 1.7 something, and this is 2. On obviously column B is bigger, so answer choice B. Okay, is there any other way you could have done it? I don't think. This is pretty straightforward. I don't think there is any simpler logic here. Okay, all right, so D, E, F are midpoints of the sides of triangle ABC. Okay, so A, B, C. All right, so these are all midpoints. These are all midpoints. Okay, so let's say this is X, X, this is Y, Y, this is Z, Z, and even the height is going to be let's say P and Q, right? Why is the height P and Q? Because let's say if you look at, let's say there was an altitude drawn like this, which is 90 degrees. Okay, let me redraw that here. So this would have been A, this would have been B, this would have been the altitude, let's say point K, this is point D, let's say this is point D1. Okay, so these two are lines are going to be parallel, right? Because this is 90 degrees, so these sides are parallel. So obviously whatever is the ratio of this, the ratio is 1:1. The ratio is also going to be 1:1 here. So this is going to be height is also going to be P and Q, both are going to be same. All right, so let's see. This is sort of pre-thinking before I get into the question. The sum of the areas of the shaded regions. Okay, so I need this area plus this area. So let's find out what is this area. Okay, so height. So this area is going to be half Z, right, into Q, height. Okay, and this area is also going to be half Z, because this base is also Z, and here also height is also going to be Q. Basically 2 half and Q, 2 times of Q Z. Okay, so this is going to be QZ. All right, the area of the triangle enclosed by quadrilateral BDEF. Okay, so B, okay, sorry, BDEF. Okay, now how do I find the area of this? Correct. If you look at it logically, now this is where we'll have to do a little bit of imagination. Area of this quadrilateral is going to be area of this big triangle minus these areas. Correct. These areas we have already calculated, QZ. Okay, so let's find out the area of the big triangle. So area of big triangle is half Z, 2Z. Okay, this time it's 2Z because the base is this. Okay, half 2Z and 2Q. Correct. It is basically P plus Q, which is 2Q. The height is twice of this. Okay, so half 2Z. Okay, so what do I have? So this half 2 gets cancelled, so I get 2QZ. That is the area of this big triangle. Okay. If I'm looking at the area of the quadrilateral, I need to subtract this area. So 2QZ, that's the area of the big triangle, minus the area of these shaded triangles, minus QZ is equal to QZ. I get the area of this quadrilateral. So this quantity is QZ. The quantity in column 1 is the same as quantity in column 2, right? So answer is going to be answer choice C. This required a little bit of imagination, but it was otherwise pretty straightforward. Okay, let's look at question 8. B is equal to 2A plus 1. All right, I can pick numbers. And or I can do it algebra wise. Okay, let me do it algebra wise, and then I'll verify by taking numbers. Okay, so 2b is going to be 2b is equal to 2 times 2a plus 1, that is basically 4a plus 2. Correct. So this is 4a plus 2. Here I have 4a plus 1, 4a plus 1. So it doesn't matter what 4a is, whether it is positive or negative. Some quantity plus 2 is always going to be bigger than some same quantity plus 1. correct? So this quantity is always going to be bigger. Answer choice is going to be A. Okay, now let me verify by taking numbers, and I'm going to take different numbers, some positive, maybe 0 or something. Okay, so let me take A is equal to 0. Okay, so what do I get? 2A is 0, 0 plus 1, B comes out to be 1. Okay, uh, so in that case, what is 2B? 2B is 2, and what is 4A plus 1? 4A is 0 plus 1 is 1. Quantity A is bigger. Okay, let me take some positive number. Let's say A is equal to 1. So this is going to be 2 plus 1, B is going to be 3. 2B is going to be 6. 4A plus 1 is going to be 5. Okay, so again, as we mentioned earlier, this quantity is going to be bigger than this by only 1 unit. Okay, so here also there is a difference of 1 unit. Same thing, even if I take a negative number, let's say A is equal to -1, so B is going to be, this is going to be -2 plus 1, that's -1. So 2B is going to be -2, and 4A plus 1 is going to be -4 plus 1, that's -3. Again, there is a difference of 1. Okay, so in all cases, this answer choice we verified. Okay, so we are very confident at this point in time. Okay, let's look at question 9. The number of distinct positive factors of n. Okay, so what is n? N is equal to 7 into 19 into 19 into 19. Okay, how many factors do I have? Now, how do we find out the number of factors of a number? Let's say I take a number n is equal to 2. How many ways can I represent 2? What are the different factors of 2? Okay, so I know 1 and 2 other factors. Okay, I'm just trying to observe the logic here. Let's say n is equal to 4 I take. So I get 1, 2 and 4. Okay, if I do, that means 3 factors. Here 2 factors, yeah, 3 factors. Let's say n is equal to 6, which can be written as 2 into 3. So how many factors can I get here? Get 1, 2, 3 and 6. So basically I get 4 factors. Okay, and if I write n is equal to 8, which is 2 raised to 3, how many factors do I get? I get 1, 2, 4 and 8. Again I get 4 factors. Okay, so what's the pattern? See, the pattern is like this. In case you haven't observed, essentially what we are doing is we are writing that number in prime factors, which is what is given here also. Okay, so we don't have to do that specific part in this question, but let's understand the logic. So we split it into prime factors, and for uh, every prime factor, okay, every prime number that is part of it, like for example here 2, here we have 2 raised to 2, here we have 2 3, here we have 2 raised to 3. Okay, I have the option of taking that or not taking that. Okay, so essentially what that happens is that for every factor I just uh, take the highest power, add 1 to it, and then multiply. For example, what is the highest power of 2 here? 2 is the only prime number here. Highest power of 2 is 1. I just take 1, add to that, I get 2, which is the number of factors. Here 4 is 2 raised to 2, highest power is 2, I add 1 to that, I get 3. Here this is interesting because there are 2 prime factors, so 2 and 3. What is the highest power here? 1 and 1. I add 1 to both, so that's I get 2 here, I get 2 here, I multiply, I get 4. Okay, same thing here, 2 raised to 3, highest power is 3, I add 1 to that, I get 4. Okay, so multiplication of 1 plus highest power of each prime number, that's basically the formula. Same thing I do here. I write it like this. There was no need for us to expand this. Okay, what is the highest power here? 1. What is the highest power here? 3. I add 1 to each, 2 and 4, and I multiply, so I get 8. So the number of distinct possibility factors of n is going to be 8, right? And this is going to be tail, so this is answer choice B. See, another way to look at this, let me just simplify this. I already made this point, but I think it will benefit I explain a little deeper. What essentially is happening here is that uh, let's take this example, 2 into 3. Okay, so I have a 2, I have a 3. For each of these, I can either take it or not take it. Okay, here also I have take it or not take it. So essentially, I can pick 1, 2 or I may not pick any two. That means number of options that I have is whatever is the power, those many twos I can take, or I may not even take anything. So that's why we are adding the plus one, right? It will become clear here. So I have three twos to pick from. I can either pick one, I can or pick two twos, or I can pick three twos, or the fourth possibility is I don't pick any two, in which case the product will be one, right? I'm not picking anything, so basically I'm just keeping it as one, right? So that's why the plus one gets added for each prime number. So if the prime number was something like, in this case, 7 into 19 to 19 into 19, right? I have one 7, I can either take it or not take it. Two options. I have three 19s. I can take one 19, or I can take two 19s, or I can take three 19s, or I may not take any 19. So four options, right? And that's why I have the total number of options for me to come to this expression, come to this number is 4. Sorry, for 2 into 4 is 8. Okay, so that's how the logic is. I've tried to explain it in different ways. So I hope this is clear. This is a little advanced level thing, so I am little surprised that no, it is coming at question 9. So good. So far I've been making this comment that these questions, the whole GRE Big Book set, is slightly on the easier side because these are old tests, but I'm impressed with this question. Okay, uh, let's move on to question number 10. QR and 6. So QR and 6. All right, 5, 8. What can I say about QR, the third side of the triangle? Okay, let's say if this was 4, or let's find out, this is 8, uh, and if I draw 5 like this, very very close, okay, it will end something here, okay, and then this is going to be something maybe like 1 unit, half a unit, whatever. Okay, so it is possible that it is less than 6. Okay, is it possible that it is greater than 6? Yes, that's also possible. I do 8 here, I do 8 here, okay, and I do 5 here. Okay, that's also possible. So it is possible for it to be 1, it is also possible for it to be 8. It is, that means this number could be anything on any side of 6. Okay, so that means I cannot determine. Okay, the only thing is that you have to make sure that all right, sorry, I made a casual mistake. So this cannot be 1, this will at least have to be 3. Why? Because these the sum of any two numbers will have to be, any two sides of a triangle will have to be greater than the third side, right? So it cannot be 1, it will have to be at least 3. But even in that case, basically it means it can start from 3, it can go all the way till 11. Okay, I can't really compare it with 6. Okay, that way. So answer is still D. Question 11, y square is equal to x square minus 1 and x is not 0. Okay, I can, what can I do with this? I know that x square is equal to x plus, sorry, y square is equal to x plus 1 into x minus 1. I can expand that. Okay, but I'm not sure if that is useful. Uh, 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 so y raised to 4, that's square of this. Okay, so let me do y raised to 4. Y raised to 4 is y square square, which is x square minus 1 square. Okay, x square minus 1 square. Does that help? Let's say then x raised to 4 plus 1 minus 2 times x square. Okay, so x square plus 1 minus 2 times x square. All right, so basically what this means is that this is x square plus 1 minus 2 times x square. Okay, so this quantity is the same as this. Oh, sorry, x raised to 4, not x square, x raised to 4. Okay, so this is basically, on the left hand side I have k minus 2x square. Let's say this is k, and right hand side I have k. Okay, so basically I have to figure out what is the value of minus 2x square. Okay, if x is positive, this is going to be a negative number. In that case, this is k minus something, so answer is going to be column A is bigger. If x is negative, okay, this is x square, so this is always going to be positive. All right, so positive negative wise also this is always going to be positive. All right, I think that's the trick here. So essentially what I'm saying is that k minus some positive number and k I have to compare. So obviously k minus positive number is always going to be small. That means this quantity always going to be big. That means answer is going to be B. Okay, tricky one, right? If this wasn't x square, which I noticed a little late, if this wasn't x square, then it could have gone either way. Again, this is also pretty, not a tricky one, but little intricate to calculate. Okay, let's move on. Okay, question 12. The length of an edge of cube R is 2. So this is a cube R. This length is 2. That means 2, 2, 2 everywhere. And the length of edge of cube T is 3. Okay, so there's another cube which is a little bigger, which is 3, 3, 3. Alright. The ratio of the surface area of R to T, ratio of the volume of R to T. Okay. So surface area of this is going to be what? 6 times, there are 6 faces, right? And each face is what? 2 into 2, right? So 6, 2 into 2, whereas here surfaces area is going to be 6, 3 into 3. Okay, so the ratio is 6, 6 obviously gets cancelled, 4 is to 9. That's the ratio I get on this side. Okay, ratio of the volumes, the volume here is going to be 3 into 3 into 3, sorry, 2 into 2 into 2, so that is 8. And here is going to be 3 into 3 into 3, that's going to be 27, 8 by 27. Okay, so basically I have to compare 4 by 9, 8 by 27. Okay, how do we compare two fractions? I just do, simplest is to do cross multiplication. So 27 fours are and 9 eights are, right? So 27 fours are is going to be 108, 9 eights are is going to be 72. So column A is big. Answer choice A. Okay, you could have done it intuitively also. See, 4.5 is half of 9, so this is somewhere close to 50%, and this is way less than 50%, right? Because 50% means this would have to be something like 12. This is only 8, right? So that way also you could have done it. Answer is going to be answer is A. Okay, question 13. Let box of x is equal to 3 if x is an odd integer. Okay, so whenever x is odd, this box of x means 3, and whenever x is even, box of x is 6. Okay, fairly straightforward function. R and S are integers, 3R is odd, and S plus 5 is even, odd. Okay, so let's look at this. 3R is odd. When is 3R odd? If 3R is odd, right, when do we get an odd product? Only when both numbers are odd. So 3 is already odd, so R also has to be odd. That much I learned. Okay, what is the second statement? 5 plus S is odd. Okay, when do I get the sum as odd? When one is even, the other is odd. Correct. If both are even, I get even product. If both are odd, I get, sorry, if both are even, I get even sum. Both are odd, still I get even sum, but I'm getting an odd sum. So one is odd, one other is even. This is already odd, so this has to be even. Okay, that much I know. Now I have to compare box of R. R is odd, so whenever there is an odd number, box of that number is 3, so I get 3 here. Box of S, S is even. Whenever there is an even number, the function gives me 6, so I get 6. Column B is bigger, answer choice B. Okay, all right. Question 14. O is the center of the circle. All right, the distance between P and Q is 4. Difference between P and Q is 4, so if I draw this line, P and Q is 4. Okay, when will P and Q, sorry, P and Q, all right, so not P and O, so this is O, this is Q. When will this distance be 4? If this distance is 4 and the radius is 2, right, there is only one distance of 4 that I can draw. That's going to be the diameter that has to pass through the center. That means this is also 2. Correct. It is not possible that there is some line that is 4 units and the radius is 2 units and the center is not there on the line. That cannot happen. The center has to be there on that line. Correct, because diameter is twice the radius. Okay, so that much I learned. That means if this is the diameter, sorry, this is the radius, this is also the radius, so both are same, so this is also going to be 35 degrees, right? So if I'm looking at this triangle, this is the radius, this is the radius, isosceles triangle, this angle has to be same as this angle, so 35 35. If this is 35 35, this is 70 degrees together, that means this angle has to be 110. Okay, then only the sum of all internal angles will be 180 degrees. Okay, if this is 110, y has to be 70, right? This is 70 getting updated with 70, answer choice C. Okay, let's look at question 15. X, y is equal to 1 and y minus x is equal to 0. Okay, y minus x equal to 0 means x and y are the same, and if they are same and their product is 1, that means there are only two possibilities. Both are 1 or both are minus 1, right? Like I always keep saying, always think about the negative numbers. Okay, so there are two possibilities. So y could be 1 or minus 1. If it is 1, then answer is C. If it is minus 1, then I'm comparing minus 1 with 1, answer is B. I can't really determine. Answer is going to be answer choice D. Okay, let's look at question number 16. If the sum of two numbers is 14, all right, so x plus, sorry, this is plus, x plus y is equal to 14, and their difference is 2, x minus y is equal to 2. Okay, then what is the product? Okay, can you think of some numbers that are product of sum of two numbers is 14 and difference is 2? 8 and 6, right? But if you can't think of that, let's directly do it algebra way. I get these two expressions, I add them, I get 2x is equal to y plus y gets cancelled, 2x is equal to 18, I get x as 8, and then I get y as 6. Okay, but I think here it's fairly easy to see. Okay, so the product of the two is going to be 8 6 are 48. Answer choice E. Okay, let's look at question 17. A secretary typed 6 letters, each of which had either 1 or 2 pages. Okay, so it is 1 or 2, not half actually, let's say 1 or 2, 1 or 2, like that. We have 6 letters. Okay, if the secretary typed 10 pages in all, okay, uh, how many letters had 2 pages? Okay, so let's say x and y. X is the number of letters with 2 pages, y is the number of letter with 1 page. Okay, total x plus y is 6. Okay, right, she typed 6 letters, and total number of pages is 2 pages for x letters plus 1 page for y letters. Total she typed 10 pages. Okay, so I get these two expressions. Okay, again let me subtract this from here. Okay, right, let me write it down here for simplicity. So these are the two expressions I get. I subtract one from the other, so I do a minus, this becomes a minus, this becomes a minus. Okay, so 2x minus x is x, y minus y is 0, and 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. So x is equal to 4, y comes out to be 2. Okay, so let's verify that. X is equal to 4, y is equal to 2. So how many pages here? 2 pages here, 8 pages, sorry, 2 pages here, 8 pages here, total 10 pages. All right. Okay, so now what's the question? How many letters had 2 pages? 4 letters had 2 pages. Answer choice D. Okay, let's look at question 18. If area of triangle PQR, so this is 90 degrees, this is 45 degrees, so this also has to be 45 degrees. Okay, if both are 45 45, that means this side has to be same as this side. Okay, all right, if the side is x, this is going to be root x, correct? X square plus x square, standard Pythagorean triangle, x square plus x square, 2x square, root of that is sorry, not root x, it's going to be root 2x, correct? All right, now let's look at if the area of triangle PQ, it is 32. Okay, let's look at this area thing. So area is half into x, that's 32. What is the length PR? Okay, so that means x square is 64, x is going to be 8 or minus 8. Here we are talking about distances, so it has to be only positive, so x is equal to 8. So this is 8, this is 8. All right, what is the length of PR? Length of PR is 8. Answer choice C. Okay, you could have done it without Pythagorean theorem also, but you need to know that I mean, we don't have to find this as such. We just have to know that these two are same. Okay. Question 19, 3 by x plus 4 by 3x is equal to 1 by 3. Okay. Can I get everything in some common term? Yes, I can get everything in the common term of 3x. Let me do that. If I write 3x here, okay, let me do it this way. If I write 3x here, what am I doing? I'm multiplying everything by 3, so I get 9 at the top. Here also I have to multiply by 3. Plus 3x is as it is, so there no change in the numerator also, is equal to, if I want to get 3x here, I have to multiply by x. So I get x on the top. Okay. So basically what I'm getting is 9 plus 4 by 3x is equal to x by 3x. Okay. Right. So 3x gets cancelled. Okay. And what do I get? X is equal to 30. X is equal to answer choice 50. Let's verify what was the original expression. 3 by x. Let me just write it down. 3 by x plus 4 by 3x. Let me calculate that for the value of 30. So I get 3 by 13 plus 4 by 13 3s are 13 3s is 39. Okay. What does that come out to be? Let's 39 the bottom. This has to be multiplied by 3. So this has to 9. 9 plus 4, that is 13 by 39. I get 1 by 3. Yes, verified. So answer has to be answer choice D. Okay. Question 20. 4 by 9 plus 4 by 9 plus 4 by 9. That is 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. So 6 times 4 by 9 on the numerator divided by 6. 6 gets cancelled. What I get is 4 by 9. Answer choice B. This is probably the easiest question of all. Okay, let's move on to the graph questions. Okay, it's not a graph, it's a table. Consumer complaints received by Civil Aeronautics Board, 2 years, everything in percentages. Okay, flight problems related 20% complaints out of all the complaints in 1980, which was all complaints was 22,988. In 81, all complaints were 13,000 something. So that means the total number of complaints has reduced, but the categories are the same, and category contributions are also changing. Okay, but the categories are the same. All right. Okay, fairly straightforward. Obviously, these will add up to 100%, and these are all numbers. Numbers given, I mean, not absolute numbers. These are percentages. Fine. So I think I understood this. Let's say question 21. Approximately how many complaints concerning credit were received by Civil Aeronautics Board in 1980? So 1980 related complaints related to credit. That is this credit was 1% in 1980. 1% of this is going to be 22,988. 1% of that is going to be 229. 229.88 rounded up to 230. Okay, so answer choice C. Okay. By approximately what percent did the total number of complaints decrease? Okay. Total number of complaints went from 22,000 to 13,000. Okay. Let me do the actual number. Minus 13 to 7 8, so that is 0, this is 1, this is 7, and this is 9. So 9710, those many, that much reduction happened on the basis of 22,988. Okay, so let me say this is 10,000 divided by 23,000, very roughly. Let me calculate. So this number has to be less than 50%, first of all, correct? Because 50% would mean it will have to be 11.5%. This has to be less than 50%. There's only one answer choice. The answer has to be answer choice A, right? Let's also verify. If this was 40%, 10% would have been 2.3. So 40% would have been 9.2 something, right? Anyway, this is approximation, so 9,000 something, 9,700, correct? So we are fairly confident of this. Okay, always verify. Okay, let's look at question 23. If the categories except other, that means all other categories, are ranked by percent of complaints from greatest to least. Okay, so the highest category, second highest, third highest, like that, and we are ignoring the other category. For how many of the categories would the rank change from 80 to 80? Okay. So let me first find out the ranks. Okay, the ranks I'm going to write in this color. So this is one. Anyway, they are organized in descending order, at least for 1980, it looks like 20, 18.3, 13.1, 10.5, 10.1. Okay, they are all decreasing. 6, 5, 3, 3.3, 3.2, 1.2, 1.0, 0.9, 6.2. Okay, so 6.2 anyway we have to ignore because this is other. So the ranking is greatest to lowest anyway, like this. Okay, now I have to find out how many times the ranking is changing. So here 22, 21, 11, 11. Okay, so here the ranking is changing because this is going up, this is going down. Okay, 8.1, 6.0, 5.6, 2.3, 2.9 again is changing here. This would go up, this would go down. See, the change will have to be an even number because uh, whenever one thing changes, something else also has to take that place, right? So it's always going to be like that. Okay, and here also answer is going to change. This is going up, this is going down. Okay, and this we are ignoring. So there are 6 places where these two and these two and these two, where the rankings are different. Okay, so answer has to be 6. 6. Okay. If the circle graphs below drawn to scale represent total consumer complaints in 1980, okay, which graph shows a shaded, say, sector that corresponds to flight problems and refund problems combined? Okay, so let's find out flight and refund together for 1980. So flight and refund together for 1980. So flight and refund. So that is 10 and 20. So that's basically 30%. Okay. 30%, that means the pie chart here has to be, okay, sorry, has to be uh, one third, right? Close to one third. So this is quarter, a little more than that. This is quarter, so this is 25%, this is out. This is less than 25%. This would be 25%, right? So this is less than 25%. This is much less than 25%. And this is like more like half, almost half, maybe something like 40%, 45%, something. I need 30%. So this is the only, the closest uh, representation of flight plus refund for 1980. Okay. Question 25. Which of the following statements can be inferred from the table? Okay. I have to say true or false here. In 1980 to 81, complaints about flight problems, baggage, and customer service together accounted for more than 50% of consumer complaints received. Okay. So what is saying? Flight plus baggage plus customer service. That has to be more than 50% for both. Let's see flight, baggage, customer service. Okay. Let's say flight, 1980 is flight, baggage is 18.3, and customer service is 13.1. 13. What is the sum here? 0.4, and this is 20.0. Okay, this is 151.4. So this is true for 1980. Let's see for 1981. These three numbers: 22.1, 21.8. So that's 43% something. This is also going to be more than 50. Okay, see here only it is becoming 50. And then something, we don't have to do the number. So this is also true for 1981. So for both it is true. That's what the statement was. So this is true. Okay. Statement 2, the number of special passenger complaints was unchanged between the 2 years. Okay. Special passenger, where is special passenger? Okay, special passenger 0.9% here, here also 0.9%, and this is where many people will do the mistake. They will think that it's the same. No, the percentage is the same, but actual base is different, right? So here, in fact, uh, so this is, let's say, 1% of a bigger number. This is 1% of a smaller number. The number themselves are not going to be the same, although the percentages are the same. Okay, so the numbers are not the same. Here they are referring to the absolute number, which is not the same. So this is absolutely incorrect. So false. From 1980 to 81, the number of flight problems complaints increased by more than 2%. Okay, so I have to find out the absolute number and then I have to find out the percentage increase. Okay, so what is that? Flight problems. Okay, let's see, flight problems was 20% of this and 22% of this. How can I compare? Okay, now one way to do is you find out 20% of this, which is basically divided by 5. This is also pretty much divided by 5. Okay, but the bigger logic here is you could do it that way. That will require a little bit of math. The more sort of concrete logical way to do that is that, see, these two numbers are very close, 20%, 22%, but the bases are very different, right? This is almost, I think we found out there were 40%. Yes, in this question we found out 40% less, correct? So this number is in fact much lower. In 1981, this number is much lower than this number. Think about it. From 100 you take 20%, okay, and from 60 you take 22%. Okay, if this is 100, this is 60, right? That's what we found out here, correct? So 120% is 20, 60 22% is something like 12 point something, 13 point something, 14 point something at max. Okay, I'm not doing the math, but something like that. Obviously this number is going to be much bigger. Okay, so what are they saying? The complaints increased. First of all, that itself is wrong. It did not increase, it decreased, so that is wrong. And increase by more than 2% is not definitely correct, because there is a decrease, so this is false. Okay, you know why they are trying to trick you? Because this 2%, same trick they are using in here also. They are asking you to get confused between percentages and absolutes. Here it looks like it has gone from 20 to 22.1, so more than 2% increase. No, okay, that is relative to the base. Same thing here, 0.9, 0.9, are they same? No, because the bases are different. So the same concept they are testing here. So this is also false. The correct answer has to be answer choice 1 only, which is answer choice A. Pretty interesting set. Let's move on. Question 26. In the figure above, LMNO, that is LMNO, okay, and GH, JK, all right, are rectangles where GH is half of LM, GH is half of LM. So this is X, this is 2X, and HJ is half of MN. So if this is Y, this is 2Y. Okay, they are all rectangles, right? Okay, what fraction of the region bounded by LMNO is not shaded? Okay, let's find out the area of the shaded region. The area of the shaded region is XY. Area of non-shaded region is this into this, length into breadth is going to be 4XY. Okay, so this non-shaded region is the bigger area 4XY minus this small shaded region XY. So non-shaded is 3XY. Okay, so what are they asking? What fraction of the area is non-shaded? So 3XY out of 4XY is not shaded, so 3 by 4. Okay. Question 29. At 9 a.m. train T left the train station, and 2 hours later train S left the same station on a parallel track. Okay, so they are, let's say this is train T, this is train S. So this leaves at 9 a.m. This leaves at 11 a.m. Okay, by the time 11 a.m. T had reached somewhere, okay, when S is starting, right, because it had left earlier. If train T average 60 kilometers per hour, so that means it has traveled 120 kilometers in 2 hours, right? And S average 75 kilometers per hour. Okay, so this is traveling at 6 km per hour. This is 75 per hour. So after both of them are running now, although T is ahead, S will end up catching up with it because this is going faster. Okay, average 75 kilometers per hour until S pass T. At what time did S pass T? Okay, so at what time did S pass T? Okay, let's say after X hours. So in X hours, how much did S travel? S traveled 75x. How much did T travel? 60x. Their relative speeds are like that. But by that time, this distance, we also need to add this 120, right? 120 head start T already had before S started. So T was 120 ahead, then in X time she went 60x even more ahead, and that is the same as 75x when T and S meet, right? So that's the equation I get. What do I get? I get 15x is equal to 120, so x is equal to 8 after 8 hours. So after 8 hours after S started, that means 8 hours after 11 a.m., that means it has to be 7 p.m. Right, 7 p.m. Answer choice D. Okay, let's verify this. So the first 9, uh, it started at 9. At 10, it went to 60 kilometers, right? At 12, sorry, at 11, it went 120 kilometers. At 11, S also started. From 11 to 7 p.m., S traveled what? 75 into 80, and T traveled 60 into 80, and it had already traveled 120 kilometers. Okay, so let's do that. If you do that, you should get the same amount. Okay, just for the sake of it, let's do it. 60 into 8, sorry, not 80. Okay, 6 into 8 is 480, and 75 is going to be 600. 600 is 120 plus 480. Yes, it's matching 7 p.m. Question 28. By weight, liquid A makes up 7% of solution A and 14.5% of solution 1 and solution 2. Okay, by weight, liquid A makes up 7% of solution A and 14% of solution B. Okay, if 3 grams of solution A is mixed with 2 grams of solution 2, okay, what's happening? Then liquid A accounts for what percentage of weight of the resulting solution? So basically, let's understand what is happening. By weight, that means we are looking at weight, not volume. Liquid A makes up 7% of solution 1. Let's understand only this one. Okay. So there is, let's say, 100 liters of solution A, uh, solution 1, 100 liters of solution 1. Out of that, A, that certain liquid, certain chemical, is 7%. Okay, so I should not be taking L, actually I should be taking, let's say, kg. Okay, because this is by weight, right? So 7 out of 100 kg is 7 kg. Okay, and in 2, what is happening? Out of 100 kg, A is 14.5 kg. Okay, all right, I got it. If 3 grams of, all right, let's not take kilograms, let's say grams only, right? If 3 grams of solution 1 is mixed and 2 grams of solution 2 is mixed, okay, so 3 grams, how much will A be in 3 grams? In 100 grams is 7, so in 3 grams is going to be 3 into 7 by 100, this much gram. In solution 2, how much I am mixing? 2 grams. So in 2 grams of solution 2, how much A is going to be there by weight? It's going to be 2 into 14.5 by 100, right? Okay, and the total weight is going to be 200, correct? Sorry, total weight is going to be 5 grams. Okay, then liquid A accounts for what percent of weight by resulting solution? So in resulting solution of 5 grams, what is the total weight of A? I need to add these two quantities and I'll get that. It's a little math intensive. Okay, there is also another way. I'll discuss that. Let's first understand this. So this is going to be out of 100, the denominator is same. So this is 21 plus this is going to be 29. So that's 48, right? Sorry, not 48, 50. So that's going to be 50 by 100. That's going to be 0.5. 0.5 by 5 gram. That's going to be 1 by 10. Sorry, 0.5 by 5, that much gram. Okay, so that's going to be what? 10%. Correct. They are asking in percent. I thought they are asking in grams. Okay. So 10%. So answer is going to be answer choice B. Okay. Now this required a lot of math, right? Although the numbers were simple, there is another way of doing it. Let me just clear this out and I'll show you that. Okay. The other way is, so we have 7% in solution 1, right? And we have 14.5% in solution 2. Correct. Let's say if I mix both of them in the same ratio, let's say this quantity I take certain quantity, and then I take certain same quantity of this also, then what's going to be the solution? Then the solution, the concentration of A is obviously going to be the midpoint of these two, correct? Which is going to be whatever that number is, something like 10 point something. Okay, so this is what, 21.5 divided by 2, correct? 10.75. Okay, now look at it this way. Here what am I mixing? I'm mixing more of solution 1 and less of solution 2. Okay, so I have more of this and I have less of this, correct? So that means this concentration, if both quantities were same, it would have been 10.75. Now this concentration of A in the mixture is going to be towards A, because I have more of solution 1. It's going to be towards solution 1. That means that should be less than 10.75, right? And only slightly less because the difference is not much. Okay, right? So something like that. So it's going to be, it doesn't have to be this, this can be ruled out. Okay, and this is also way too far, so that way also you can figure out the answer to be answer choice B, right? Okay, that's the logical way of doing it. Let's look at question 29. 29, the volume of a cylindrical tank is directly proportional to the height and the square of the radius of the tank. Okay, obviously it has to be, because that's the formula of volume anyway. So this has to be, what is the formula? Pi r square h, that's the volume, right? So it is directly proportional to, pi is the constant, so pi directly proportional to the square of the radius and height. That we already know. If a tank, certain tank with a radius of 10 centimeter has a volume of 20,000 cubic centimeters. Okay, so 20,000 is equal to pi into 100 into h. Okay, what is 100? 100 is r square. Okay, then what is the volume in cubic centimeters of a tank the same height with radius of 15? So I need to find out what would be radius of 15, means r square will be 225. Same height, what would this be? Okay, very simple. Let me find out h first of all. H is going to be 20k divided by 100 pi, correct? From here I get h is equal to 20 by 100 pi. I put that value in this, into pi into 225, correct? Pi gets cancelled. So what do I get? 20k into 2.25. Okay, what is 20k into 2.25? So it's going to be 40k and 1/4 of that, so that's 5k more, so 45k, correct? 45k is answer choice B. Fairly straightforward. Okay, let's look at question 30. If y is equal to a by a plus b and x is equal to a by b, then what is y in terms of x? Okay, so let me write a as xb. Okay, in this equation, let me do that. So y is a by a plus b. So that means if a is xb, I get xb by xb plus b. Okay, so that is xb by, if I take b out, x plus 1, b gets cancelled. What do I get? X divided by x plus 1. So that is y in terms of x. Okay, x by x plus 1, x by x plus 1, answer choice E. Okay, be very careful with this. You could have also done it by replacing b, or any other way also you could have done. Basically a little bit of jugglery and you will get the answer. So answer choice E is the correct one. All right, so that was the set that we just solved, the 14th video in this series. Overall, it was pretty much similar to all the other tests that we have been solving. A couple of questions were really interesting. The number of prime factors of a number, right? Not number of prime factors, number of factors of a number. I think that was a concept that we had not encountered previously on these tests. I also made a comment about that. But apart from that, I think in terms of difficulty, in terms of variety and everything, was as expected. The graph one was particularly easy, is what I found. Okay, sometimes the graphs are a little challenging, but even in the graph questions, they had this trick of trying to confuse the student between absolutes and percentages. And I also made a comment about that, so be aware of that one. Okay. So overall, I think I had fun solving this. I hope you also were solving along the way. That's the best way to learn. And so happy practicing, and I'll see you in another video.